Part 30. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 292. Now. A mysterious manor somewhere in the fairyland. The aura of the Holy Way is extremely rich, and there is even an aura that transcends the underworld. Lion, its shift change. The White Tiger Immortal King came and asked the Lion King guarding the gate to leave. In fact, they have already surpassed the Hongmeng realm. After these few months of hard training, they have made even more progress, and almost all of them have entered the realm of 4 lumens. Almost all of them are quasi-powerful. Because Yun 11 said that the dog guarding his door cannot be worse than the strong people outside. The Golden Lion stood up, nodded, and said, "The Master has been in seclusion for several months since he gave us the cultivation techniques and the source of the Holy Way. He doesn't know what he is doing." When the White Tiger ancestor heard this, his expression became complicated. "It's been so long, hasn't the Master accepted the reality? Don't worry about it." The Golden Lion ancestor nodded and left immediately. Then, the White Tiger ancestor walked in. And at this moment, in the main hall, the sound of Yungzi's collapse continued to be heard. She went crazy. In the past few months, she had been addicted to books and searched for countless ways to break the life contract. After all, she really doesn't want to become someone else's slave. However, she failed. 3 months have passed. It seems that I am really going to meet my master. Owner. At this time, the White Tiger ancestor walked in from outside. He was very worried and said, "From the outside world, the major holy forces have arrived. Senior Li, everything is fine. I heard from Xiaoyang that Senior Li is in a good mood and his mood is quite stable. He is still as easygoing as before and he is not angry or anything. You can rest assured." Ancestor White Tiger looked complicated. During this period, the only order the Master gave them to the White Tiger clan was to report Li Fan's situation to her at any time. Because she is afraid. If the Great Demon King is in a bad mood one day, gets angry, wouldn't he be dead? Hearing the words of the White Tiger ancestor, Yun 11 also breathed a sigh of relief. That's good. By the way, Senior Li seems to have sent a few apprentices out recently. They seem to be looking for something. The White Tiger ancestor spoke again. Hearing this, Yun 11's heart suddenly tightened. Isn't the big devil looking for me? It must be. If the Great Demon King never finds himself, will he directly use the mark of life to kill himself? Yun 11 stood up hurriedly and said, I want to go to a small mountain village. Immediately, she walked out of the hall. Outside the main hall, there are many roses planted. At this moment, 2 colorful butterflies are playing on the petals. As soon as Yun 11 stretched out her hand, the 2 butterflies landed gently on her white hand. Then she left. And at this moment, Northern Immortal Territory, Northern Frontier. All races are shocked. Because, just yesterday, the Demon Cow tribe came out in full force, and Niu Feking, the quasi-powerful elder, took action personally. We need to hunt down the 2 traitors of the demonic cow clan. This attracted the attention of the world. In front of the great northern wilderness, Niu Feking has arrived here with countless masters from the demonic cow clan. This is a large army of the demonic cow clan, with thousands of people. There are more than a dozen quasi-powerful people. There are hundreds of other saint-level experts. It can be said that Niu Feking used all the power he could use. The soul-locking horn has pointed out the direction. Niu Tushan is in this wilderness. Niu Feking looked cold. Bring that human ant here. He waved his hand. Suddenly, 2 strong men from the demonic cow clan came over, escorting a middle-aged man. Great Elder, this person's name is Xuanhuan. According to the news, he took Niu Dushan into this wilderness before. He must know where Niu Dushan and others are hiding in this wilderness. An elder asked for credit and said, "This guy actually wanted to escape from northern Xinjiang. Fortunately, I caught him back in time." Niu Fiking looked at Xuanhuan indifferently and said, "Have you ever entered the great northern wilderness?" Xuanhuan was extremely scared at the moment. He was obviously planning to leave his country and escape from northern Xinjiang. Why was he still captured? Moreover, we have to face this wilderness again? He was desperate, but he could only bite the bullet and said, "Great Elder Chi, I've been in there before, it's a very evil place." But the Great Elder waved his hand and said, "Lead the way." Xuanhuan was about to cry and said, "I really can't go." Niu Fiking looked impatient and shouted, "If you dare to say another word, I will let you die." When Xuanhuan heard this, he could only hold it back. "Damn it, you're forcing me like this, don't blame me." Xuanhuan immediately became fierce and said, "Please come with me." "Walk." Niu Fiking's face was cold. "Bring people in directly." The army passed through the sky. They crossed Xiantian State directly, and not long after, they landed. "It should be right in front." Xuanhuan spoke. Now, he was also a little numb. "Well, if you're honest, don't worry. When things are done, our clan will give you a big reward." The Great Elder also nodded. Because, according to the display of the soul-locking horn, Niu Dushan is already very close. They move on. And at this moment, in a small mountain village, the weather is nice, suitable for plowing. Uncle John gets up early and feeds the cattle. But he found that the big black cow that had just arrived was a little shy. It didn't dare to come over when the old scalper was eating grass. After the old scalper finished eating, the big black cow came to eat. "Hey, this cow is quite polite." Uncle John smiled. Moreover, the old scalper seemed to be more picky when eating forage, but this big black cow was different. Even the coarser forage was chewed very well. No, after they finished eating the fodder, they stuck out their big cow tongue and licked the trough clean. This big black cow is easy to feed. Uncle John couldn't help but sigh. Then, he pulled the two cows to the field at the entrance of the village. "Hey, study hard, I'll let Lao Huang plow it for you first." Uncle John hitched the old ox to the plow and started plowing the land. The old scalper started with a skillful pace. The big black cow was next to him, and his eyes were staring. This is an ancient ox, the kind that can run rampant throughout the immortal realm if taken out. At this moment, we are actually plowing the land. An old scalper who works hard and never complains. I have to work hard too. The big black bull has made up his mind. You must be a good plowing cow to avoid being treated as a beef cow. Soon, the old scalper finished plowing the land, and Uncle John took out an apple from his pocket and fed it to the old scalper as a reward. "It's your turn, Hey." Uncle John spoke. The big black cow immediately ran over and obediently let Uncle John hitch the plow. "Well, it's still easy to teach." Uncle John smiled and immediately shouted, and the big black bull started to pull the ground with all his strength. And at this moment, Niu Fiking led a group of strong men and finally saw the small mountain village ahead. "Huh? What's going on?" A strange look flashed in Niu Fiking's eyes. "It seems very simple here." "Great Elder, look." At this time, an elder pointed to the village. Everyone looked. "I saw a farmer plowing the land at the entrance of the village. And that cow. Familiar, so familiar. That's Niu Dushan." Everyone was shocked. How did Niu Dushan become a farm cow? What a disgrace to the Ox clan. It deserves to be killed. Letting this kind of cow live is simply an insult to our demonic cow clan. Everyone is angry. "Kill it!" Niu Fiking even shouted angrily. He immediately led people to rush closer. At this moment, Ao Xuanhuan, who was no longer in charge, quietly retreated. The cattle rush over madly. However, when approaching the small mountain village, all the strong men of the demonic cow clan suddenly felt a great pressure. No. They were all horrified. Under such terrifying pressure, a group of strong men from the demonic cow clan suddenly formed their prototypes one after another. In an instant, thousands of more cows suddenly appeared outside the mountain village. What the hell? Niu Feking turned into a cow. He roared angrily, but it was a cow cry. Moo. All of a sudden, thousands of cows roared. Moo. Moo. The cow brays loudly. Suddenly, many people in the village were attracted. Hey, why are there so many cows outside our village? It's weird. I heard that there is a tide of beasts in the mountains during this time. Are these cows running out of the mountains? The villagers spoke one after another. Uncle Zhang, who was plowing the fields, also stopped and looked outside. The big black bull looked up and was even more startled. Clansmen. So many coming? The leader is still Niu Feking. Daiko Kanuten realized that he was here to hunt down himself and Ushihara. Thinking of this, he immediately shouted toward the outside of the village. Moo. This is the most primitive cow language, which means, a bunch of trash, if you have the ability to kill me. Upon hearing this cow roar, Niu Feking and other cows outside the village suddenly became angry. This is a naked provocation. I will kill you. Niu Feking was so angry that he rushed forward immediately. The rest of the cows followed suit. These crazy cows. It's over, how can this be done? Suddenly, Aunt Wang and a group of villagers were frightened. So many cows rushing over, it's going to kill someone. Old Zhang, hurry up, you are most familiar with cows, what should you do? Aunt Wang was anxious and hurried to the field and shouted to Uncle Zhang. Uncle Zhang was also a little scared at the moment, but when he thought that these mad cows rushed in and everyone in the village would be injured, he immediately became angry. He took the whip in his hand and stepped out of the village. With a fierce move, he suddenly shook the whip in his hand into the air. A bunch of mad cows, if you dare to go crazy again, I can't kill you. The whip cracked in the air. At this moment, thousands of terrifying strong men of the Ox clan felt a trembling from their souls. Niu Feking's hooves went limp, he suddenly fell to the ground heavily, and his whole body twitched. No. His big bull eyes were full of fear. That whip. What level of horror weapon is it? Sacred weapon? Or higher? He trembled. Moo. Moo. In an instant, countless cows fell to the ground. Every cow was trembling, their whole body was weak, and they could not move. Every cow is extremely scared. Seeing this scene, the people in the village were dumbfounded. Uncle Zhang was even more confused. Is his whip so powerful? The bullwhip Xiao Li made is so easy to use. He couldn't help but be overjoyed and said, "Quick, go tell Xiao Li that we can have a whole cow feast today. The whole village eats together." Suddenly, the villagers burst into joy. Behind, Ao Wushuan was dumbfounded when he saw this scene. When Uncle Zhang cracked his whip, he clearly saw an almost invincible existence in the sky and on earth. The avenue roars and the world trembles. Terrible! What kind of demonic cow tribe is this? They are obviously here to deliver meat to others. At this moment, he was trembling with fear and turned around to run away. Huh? Who is that? Stop! At this time, Uncle Zhang suddenly saw Ao Wushuan at the entrance of the village and spoke immediately. Ao Wushuan's body suddenly stiffened and stood still. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 293. Heard the words coming from behind. Ao Wushuan's whole body was trembling. Call me. He turned around, fear written all over his face. That's right. Who else to call if I don't tell you? Come here. Uncle Zhang spoke to him. Xuanhuan wanted to escape, but he knew that he would not be able to escape. I could only walk back step by step. Who are you? Are these cows yours? Uncle Zhang asked curiously. Isn't this person in front of me a cattle herder or a cattle dealer? My name is Xuanhuan. Senior, this is none of my business. But Xuanhuan was about to cry and said, I was forced to come here. This time it's really not my fault. Uncle Zhang suddenly realized that he was really a cowherd. It seems that the cattle herder probably went crazy while herding cattle, so he couldn't control himself and ran to the entrance of the village. Well, that must be the case. Uncle Zhang immediately smiled and said, Don't be afraid, these mad cows are under control now. He scratched his head and said, Well, these cows are crazy anyway, why not feed them to our village? How much do we pay you? After all, even though these are all crazy, the cattle dealer must have suffered a lot, and Uncle Zhang felt a little sorry. Hearing this, Xuanhuan was instantly confused. Here, give yourself money. Did you hear it correctly? But then he understood. This terrifying creature in front of me likes to eat beef. And he brought this herd of cows, just in line with his old man's wishes, so he wanted to give himself a blessing? Xuanhuan was instantly excited. He had been unlucky for so long, could he finally have good luck? No, don't dare, senior, as long as you like, feel free to eat, feel free to eat. Xuanhuan expressed his position on the spot and said, If you don't have enough to eat, just ask me and I will bring it to you. Uncle Zhang also smiled when he heard this. It couldn't be better if the other party is so generous. After all, the people in the village don't have much money, so it's not easy to buy so many cows. Then let's go to the village and take a rest. Uncle Zhang said. No, 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 senior, I still have something to do, I should leave. How could Xuanhuan dare to stay here if he was granted amnesty? Hearing this, Uncle Zhang said. Oh, how embarrassing is this? He took out 2 apples from his pocket and said. Come on, Boss Ao, since you still have something to do, I won't advise you anymore. Take these 2 apples with you and eat them on the way. Those apples were originally intended to be used to feed the cows, but now they were given to Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan looked at the apple in his hand and was immediately shocked. God, what kind of apple is this? Fragrant and fragrant, the aura of the holy path is so strong that an apple seems to be the source of a ball of holy path. Isn't it too outrageous? Holy medicine? The other party actually gave me 2 holy medicines. At this moment, Xuanhuan was immediately moved. He excitedly knelt down towards Uncle Zhang and said. Thanks, thanks. Uncle Zhang was stunned, but then he understood that the other party was thanking him for helping him deal with such a large number of mad cows. Uncle Zhang immediately helped him up with a smile and said, No thanks, we are all the same people. We should help each other. I am a cattle dealer, but I am a farmer, and I cannot live without cattle. Isn't it the same thing? However, upon hearing these words, Xuanhuan was suddenly shocked. We are all the same people. Is this senior really telling himself to remember his human identity? He is so excited. It turns out that I was able to survive just because I was a human being. He got it completely. This senior must be a powerful person in the human race. At this moment, Xuanhuan was so moved that he seemed to have found the direction of his life. He nodded suddenly and said, Senior, don't worry, I will be a good person from now on. With that said, he bowed deeply to Uncle Zhang again and left immediately. When he came, he was trembling and extremely scared. However, when he left, he held his head high and was upright. But watching Xuanhuan leave and trembling on the ground, Many strong men of the demonic cow clan gritted their teeth. Ao Xuanhuan, I won't let you go no matter what. Niufiking was so angry that his whole body was shaking. This is a scam. Damn, undercover, this guy is an undercover beast. Is it really okay to cheat like this? Shameless, so shameless. They cursed angrily, but all they heard was moo. And at this moment, in the small courtyard, a villager also ran over and informed him of what happened outside the village. In the small courtyard, many disciples were shocked when they heard this. Heard? What kind of cattle dare to attack a small mountain village? Are they risking their lives? I know, it's little Taurus clansmen who are here to kill us. At this time, Wu Dade sent a message to many brothers. Hearing this, everyone understood. After returning yesterday, Wu Dade and Lu Rang had already told them the process of finding the little golden bull. Moo. Little Taurus Niuyuan was also a little worried. And Li Fan was also a little confused. Thousands of cows? This sounds like a big scene. Let's go and have a look. Li Fan spoke immediately and led a group of disciples out. Not long after, we arrived at the entrance of the village. Arriving at the entrance of the village, Li Fan was also a little surprised. There are literally thousands of cows. Wu Dade and Lu Rang were even more shocked. These were all powerful men from the demonic cow clan. Let Uncle Zhang be frightened out of his wits by a whip? The little golden bull, at this moment, walked to the side of the big black bull. It's fun, it's fun. The big black cow was extremely excited and said. Yuan, this one, these old clappers are all useless. He told everything about what happened just now. The little Taurus was always stunned for a moment, but his uncle was so deceitful. Huh? This little guy is a little special. At this time, the old scalper who was resting next to him suddenly looked at the little golden bull. When the little Taurus looked at the old scalper, his hair stood on end. This cow. The smell is terrible. At this moment, little Taurus understood that Lu Rang did not lie to him. This is really an ancient yak. Brother, this is my nephew. The big black cow hurriedly introduced it to the old scalper. Big brother? The little Taurus's big eyes flickered. His uncle actually called him, eldest brother? This is a powerful man from ancient times, his realm is unimaginable. Uncle, he really got a big opportunity. Well, stay in the yard, young cow, you have a bright future. The old scalper said. Huang Niu was shocked and nodded immediately. Xiao Li, your whip is so easy to use, it scares the bulls so hard. At this time, Uncle Zhang spoke to Li Fan and said with a smile. We villagers are in for a treat this time. The cattle dealer has already said that these mad cows will be given to us. He told the story of scaring the herd of cattle with a whip and giving Ao Xuanhuan 2 apples. Li Fan also nodded when he heard this and said. It seems that Ao Xuanhuan is a pretty good person. Well, let's inform the villagers that we will hold a banquet for the whole village tonight, a banquet for all cows. Suddenly everyone in the village was very happy. And at this moment, outside world, the demonic cow tribe's army was dispatched, attracting the attention of many saint tribes. However, he never returned and there was no news at all. After a brief moment of tranquility, the holy land of the demonic cow clan, in the demonic cow mountain. What happened? A roar suddenly sounded. On this day, a majestic and heroic middle-aged man walked out of a cave in demonic cow mountain. His aura was extremely powerful, and when he raised his hand, it seemed as if the laws of the holy way were harmonizing. This is powerful. The holy lord of the demonic cow clan Neophysian. He had been in seclusion. But today, almost all the elders in the clan were wiped out. This forced him to break out. What happened? He appeared in the hall and summoned the whole clan. The demonic cow clan is in a panic. Report. At this time, a sea-opening level cultivator came quickly from outside and said, "Reporting to the Holy Lord, just now, someone from the outside named Xuanhuan sent a letter." Hearing this, Neophysian said coldly, "Where are the others?" The cultivator said angrily, "This guy is very smart. He can run extremely fast. He will disappear after leaving a message. He can't be caught." Neophysian frowned. He took the letter from the cultivator and opened it. There was only one place on it. And it was noted that that was where Neophysian and others were located. "I will go to this place myself. Pass my command, point your sword at the great northern wilderness, and start a clan war." Start a clan war. Hearing this, the whole clan was shocked. When the news came out, it caused a sensation in northern Xinjiang. The dignified Saint clan actually launched a clan war. The world is paying attention. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 294. Since the advent of the Holy Spirit, although there have been great changes in the immortal realm, it is generally peaceful. Among the saints, quasi-powerful men rarely take action. However, today, suddenly, a large holy clan actually wants to start a clan war. This means that this clan has reached a moment of life and death. What happened? Bidawang, what is in there? It is said that Neophysian, the great elder of the demonic cow clan, and others led others there, but they were damaged in the process. The world is talking about it. At this moment, Xiantian Prefecture. The Xiantian Alliance got the news, and Huolinger and others were also shocked. The Saint clan is going to launch a clan war against the great northern wilderness. This can be called a truly big event. Very scary. Quick, we have to go find Senior Li immediately and tell him. Huolinger spoke directly. She, Bai Xiaoyang and others immediately headed towards the small mountain village quickly. Night. The village is very lively and there are bonfires everywhere. The big iron pot was set up and the beef was already in the pot. A lot of beef is placed on the fire, and it is full of oil and fragrant, which is mouth-watering. Men, women, and children in the village sat together, and it was extremely lively. Li Fan and many of his disciples also came, and now they were sitting around the campfire, talking and laughing. It's all the meat of holy creatures, and it tastes pretty good. Long Xuan picked up a cow leg and started to chew on it. Qing Chen also drank beef soup, feeling extremely refreshed. Ziling, Nanfeng, Xianning, Subaijian, and Gongya were much more elegant. They served the food in small bowls and tasted it slowly. Xiaobai lay in Li Fan's arms. Li Fan carefully tore the beef into strips and fed it to her, while rubbing her belly to prevent her from digesting it. Xiao Li, Huolinger and the others are here. At this time, Uncle John called out and led Huolinger and others to the bonfire where Li Fan and others were. Huolinger and others looked a little stupid at this moment. This is a whole village eating cows. The point is, these cows. They all clearly have an extraordinary aura. I probably understand why the demonic cow tribe launched a holy war. It's so tragic. Bai Xiaoyang looked complicated. Fortunately, my grandfather had the foresight to save the Lord of Desolate Skies Thai in time. Otherwise, the Holy Clan? It's also a share for others to eat. Huolinger was even more shocked. You guys are here. Li Fan turned around, also smiled and said. Come here and sit down, we have enough meat tube for today. Huolinger and others immediately walked over and sat together. The villagers also handed them bowls and filled them with several large bowls of beef. Huolinger and others felt extremely complicated, but they also understood. What kind of demonic cow tribe? Senior Lee doesn't take it seriously at all. Just eat it and that's it? Immediately, they all started eating. And at this moment, the old scalper, the big black cow and the little golden cow were tied at the entrance of the village. Because Uncle Jong said that when beef is cooked and eaten in the village, he is afraid that the cows will be scared if they smell the smell of their own race. Suddenly, the old scalper raised his eyes and looked outside the village indifferently. I saw that outside the village, the sky was covered with countless strong men in an instant. The battle flag is flying across the sky, and the arrogance is overwhelming. The leader is the Holy Lord of the demonic cow tribe, Xuanhuan. He stood in the air and at a glance, he saw Niu Dushan and Niu Yuan who were tied at the entrance of the village. Xuanhuan's eyes were suddenly shocked. What's going on? Niu Dushan and Niu Yuan were actually tied up? Could it be said that they took refuge with other ethnic groups and became slaves? This is very possible. However, no matter what ethnic group he belongs to, he must fight today. Only in this way can the reputation of the Demon Cow clan be restored. He took one step forward and said, Niu Dushan and Niu Yuan, two traitors, will die today. Village entrance. Master, they are eating beef, don't disturb their interest. The old scalper suddenly spoke and said, Brother, go and get him. Hearing this, De He Niu was startled for a moment. Are you going by yourself? Although it was said that he had broken through to the Four Lights realm after eating 2 meals of fodder at Uncle Zhang's house, the one who came was the Holy Lord of the demonic cow clan. What a mighty one! A whole level higher than him. Do you still remember how Uncle Zhang taught you the steps when you were plowing the fields? Tread him to death. The old scalper said calmly. Hearing this, De He Newton was startled. He seemed to understand something. It turns out that when I plowed the land, what I got was a terrifying treasure technique. At this moment, De He Newton felt confident. He suddenly left the village and made a provocative cry toward the Holy Lord of the demonic cow tribe. Hearing this voice, the Holy Lord of the demonic cow clan immediately became angry. You're just a traitor, how dare you challenge me? Destroy you today. He's getting closer. However, when approaching the small mountain village, he was instantly oppressed and drew the true cow. Moo. He obviously wanted to shout, but all he could hear was a cow cry. Behind, the entire demonic cow clan were shocked when they saw it. The Holy Lord actually took the initiative to show the form of the demon bull. It seems that he is the only one who will kill the bull. Niu Dushan deserves to die. Everyone is talking about it. 2 cows met in the air. Suddenly, under Niu Dushan's hooves, there was a bright light, as if there was a terrifying Taoist law falling. Its hooves stepped down towards Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan's eyes were suddenly shocked. He clearly felt that those hooves were terrifying. It's like a life and death technique. He is also close to full strength. 2 cows fighting in the air. They are evenly matched. God, is Niu Dushan so scary? No wonder he dared to leave the clan. What a genius, what a pity, hey. Many people from the demonic cow clan spoke up. I am going to kill you. Fighting to the point of madness, Xuanhuan couldn't help it anymore. Suddenly, there was a roar. This was his great skill, the secret sound cow roar. This kind of bull roar is almost silent, but it can target the soul. It is a kind of life and death magic. The big black cow was startled for a moment, but at this time, the voice of the old scalper rang in his ears. Mud, plug your ears. When Newton was black, he rubbed the mud on his hooves against his ears. Mud blocked his ears, and the terrifying secret cow roar came, but the big black cow was completely silent. The big black bull was suddenly overjoyed and immediately stepped forward with his hooves. No. The Holy Lord of the demonic cow tribe was shocked on the spot. Is this okay? The cow's hooves came towards him and hit him hard in the face. Ah! Neufetian flew out and hit the ground hard. Rear. All the demonic cow clan members were shocked. Holy Lord, Neufetian was actually defeated by Neudushan? This. How can it be? The Holy Lord is so powerful. Neudushan, his cultivation level is at the 4th level at most. How could it be like this? Genius, the legendary genius. Everyone was shocked. On the ground, Neufetian struggled to get up. That's it? The big black bull stood in front of him, extremely proud. Neufetian felt so angry that he burst into tears. How could this be so? I will kill you. He roared, and suddenly, a jade talisman appeared under his hoof. He cruelly trampled the jade talisman to pieces. This moment, a terrifying wave spread instantly. The great avenue of heaven and earth roars, and the breadth of the holy way is endless. Outside the mountain village, countless plants and trees suddenly bowed. In the same place, in a daze, there was a shadow. That looks like an old man. A saint from my clan. The clone of our ancient saint. Oh my God, I'm actually forced to use the saint's clone. The entire demonic cow clan was shocked. And the phantom slowly appeared and murmured. Who dares to be an enemy of our clan? Seeing this phantom, Neufetian immediately became excited and said. Old sage, Neudushan betrayed our clan, defected to the enemy, and brutalized the elders of our clan. Please kill him and bring peace to this place. A flash of anger also flashed in the eyes of the virtual shadow, and he slowly raised his eyes. He saw the big black cow in front of him, and the mountain village behind the big black cow. And, the old scalper who was chewing fodder at the entrance of the village. At this moment, the ancient saint of the demonic cow clan suddenly changed his expression and took a few steps back, his face full of horror. My clan have absolutely no intention of colliding with the nobles. Please calm down, senior. The ancient sage of the demonic cow tribe suddenly knelt down directly towards the old scalper at the entrance of the village. Seeing this scene, the entire demonic cow clan was in an uproar. Completely shocked. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 295. The demonic cow clan army was all dumbfounded at this moment. What's going on? My ancestor, the majestic ancient saint. Isn't it supposed to be invincible in the sky and on earth, conquering all directions? Now he is actually kneeling in front of this mountain village? Moreover, he was obviously extremely frightened. Neufetian was also stunned at this moment. Completely stunned. What happened? Ancient sage, what are you afraid of when the ancient sage is here? The cow at the entrance of the village. Could it be that they are the legendary cattle tribes? A noble family or a royal family? God, did I hit a brick wall? At this moment, Neufetian panicked. Senior, our clan is here just to pursue the two traitors Neudushan and Neuyuan. We definitely don't dare to target the nobles. Please show your support, senior. The ancient saint of the demonic cow clan explained it again. He is an ancient saint, so he can naturally feel the terror of this old scalper. Even though he is a saint, in front of the other party, he is still like an ant. This means that the other party is at least the Holy King. The old scalper who was chewing back at the entrance of the village glanced at the big black cow and said lightly. Dehe is messing with me. As for the owner of the little golden calf, you have no right to ask. Hearing this, the ancient saint of the demonic cow clan was even more shocked. The big black cow Neudushan is actually following the sage of the cow tribe. And the master of Neuyuan seems to be respectful even to the sage of the Neu tribe. He looked deeply at the big black bull and the little golden bull, and he was even more surprised, because the bloodlines of the big black bull and the little golden bull were clearly extremely powerful. They are two geniuses. especially the little Taurus. He suddenly turned around and lifted up Neufetian, the holy lord of the demonic cow tribe. Neufetian, luckily you are still the holy master. You have forced the prodigies of our clan to rebel against the clan. How dare you bring your clan members to die? I'll destroy you. The Tao is drooping, like being cut into pieces by 1,000 swords. Ah! At this moment, all of Neufetian's cultivation was crippled, and his whole body was trembling. Tears flowed wildly from his eyes. Why? No, why is this happening? I should be able to easily destroy Neufetian's lineage and eliminate all threats. At this moment, he regretted it. If he was given a chance to come back, he would never come here. But, it's too late. The next moment, he fell to the ground with a plop. Completely turned into a useless cow. Behind, countless demonic cow tribe members were dumbfounded when they saw this scene. The ancient saint in the clan actually deposed the Holy Lord. The ancient sage of the demonic cow tribe turned around, stared at the countless tribesmen with the power of swallowing up all the wastelands, and shouted. Neufetian pretends to be the Holy Lord, suppresses the meritorious Neufetian lineage, and persecutes the genius of our clan. I will destroy it. From today onwards, Neufetian is the Holy Lord of the demon Neu clan. Ushihara, the holy son of the demonic cow tribe. Those who dare to disobey will be regarded as traitors and will be killed forever. His eyes swept across the entire clan. In an instant, all the members of the demonic cow clan felt a great pressure. Follow the orders of the ancient saint. Follow the orders of the ancient saint. All the members of the demonic cow clan were so shocked that they knelt down one after another. The ancient saint said indifferently, "You still haven't paid homage to the Holy Lord and Holy Son." Hearing this, the entire demonic cow clan spoke respectfully to Neufetian and Neuyuan. Greetings to the Holy Lord and Holy Son. Greetings to the Holy Lord and Holy Son. No one dares to disrespect you. Among the ancient tribes, the strong is respected and the winner is the king. Just now, when Dehanu was able to defeat Neufetian, who was in the powerful realm, with the combat power of the Four Lights realm, in everyone's hearts, Neufetian was no longer worthy of being the Holy Lord. At this moment, the ancient saint has appointed the new saint master, and everyone just thinks it is natural. The big black bull was shocked when he saw this. Holy Lord? Have you become the Holy Lord of the demonic cow tribe? This counterattack in life made him feel a little dazed. All of this is because of this small mountain village. After the ancient sage finished all this, he turned towards the old scalper at the entrance of the village and said respectfully, "Senior, are you still satisfied?" However, the old scalper only focused on chewing back and had no time to pay attention to him. When the ancient sage saw this, he immediately said to the big black cow, "After I return to my clan, I will immediately send all the powerful men in seclusion in the clan to serve the new Holy Lord and Holy Son." Immediately, he stood up, turned around and looked at many clan members indifferently, and said, "You guys, wait for the Holy Lord to be punished." After saying that, the ancient saint disappeared directly. He is a clone, and now he has to go back to Demonic Cow Mountain. The rest of the Demonic Cow clan were extremely anxious. "Holy Lord, we have been deceived by Neufetian before, please spare our lives, Holy Lord." At this time, an old man begged for mercy from the big black cow. The clansmen couldn't afford to kneel down. The big black bull was still in a daze and seemed unable to accept it. He took a deep breath and suddenly said, "Come here, everyone, take the initiative to transform and line up." He knew very well that in his village, he was just a farmer. How to deal with these tribesmen who dare to invade the small mountain village, he doesn't have the power, so he will probably have to wait for the person in the small courtyard to speak. In an instant, tens of thousands of cows from the demonic cow clan lined up, transformed into cow shapes, and knelt obediently in front of the small mountain village. This scene is extremely spectacular. Ushihara also looked complicated. In just one day, everything was reversed. He decided that he would work hard as a cow in the small courtyard from now on. Similarly, the big black cow also came over, lay down next to the old scalper, and said gratefully, "Thank you, brother." The old scalper nodded calmly and said, "Well, let's cultivate the land well from now on." Deheniu said excitedly, "Brother, don't worry, as long as I'm here, the land in our village will never be abandoned." Now, he really likes farming. When you work as a plowing cow for others, you not only get good forage to eat, but you can occasionally get an apple or two as a reward. You can also gain enlightenment in the process of plowing the land, and you can also learn from the old scalpers. This is simply the pinnacle of life, a happy life. As for the demonic cow clan? Holy Lord! Who would have thought about the hard days in the past? And everything that happens outside the village? No one in the village knew. Everyone was enjoying themselves and eating all kinds of beef. "Master, go and dig out 2 jars of wine from under my peach tree." Li Fan was also happy, so he immediately spoke and added, "Dig 2 years old." Since he came to the small mountain village, he has made some wine every year and buried it. Therefore, the wine under the peach tree has a total of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years. The older the wine is, the better it tastes. When Wu Dade heard this, he was immediately excited. That was a treasure. "Me, I'll go too." Lu Rang hurriedly followed. He has been coveting the peach root's oil for a long time, but he doesn't dare to touch one, so now he can pick up 2 handfuls and put them in a flower pot. The two left, and soon Wu Dade came back with 2 jars of wine, while Lu Rang happily held his pot of grass. The flower pot is newly covered with soil at the base of the peach tree. "Pour some for everyone." Li Fan spoke. Immediately, bowls of wine arrived in everyone's hands. Everyone looked very solemn when they felt the drink. "I remember that the wine we drank before was full of the spirit of the immortal way. This time, I feel like what I am holding is a ball of the source of the holy way." Nanfeng was in a daze. They had also drunk Li Fan's wine before in the immortal era, but the wine was far from as terrifying. In the past, what we drank was 1-year wine, which can be called the best of the immortal way, but this time we drink 2-year wine, which can be called the source of the holy way. Xian Ning also had her big eyes flashing and said, "Wine of 3 or 4 years, what kind of treasures should it be?" She couldn't imagine it. She was suddenly curious, what was the realm of her eldest brother? A bowl of wine is the source of the holy way. Lu Rang was in a daze. Since he went to the outside world, he understood more and more how good his master's family conditions were. In the outside world, a ball of the source of the holy way can support a sect. However, in the master's place, any bowl of wine contains the terrifying source of the holy way. Moreover, he vaguely feels that compared to the source of the holy way that some saints regard as treasures, it is probably not far behind. Bar. This, in the original medicine, the holy wine that ranks at the top of the wild level, contains the source of the holy way. Subakian even murmured, feeling extremely shocked. "Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert." Author, Gui Xian. Chapter 296. Wow, it smells so good. Zi Ling picked up the drink and took a sip. Suddenly, her face turned red and she looked extremely cute, and her aura improved rapidly. The middle stage of Shenjian, the late stage of Shenjian, complete. Finally, after she finished her bowl of wine, she directly entered the realm of opening up the sea. Seeing this scene, the other disciples couldn't wait any longer and hurriedly drank. Good wine. Long Xuanhuan drank a bowl of wine, and the terrifying Holy Dao Foundation turned into a real dragon in his dantian, roaring and opening up a sea. Open the sea. A bowl of wine in your life is like a game of chess in the world, When you are drunk, the world is vast, and the sun and moon are long in the pot. Zhang Li also felt drunk. At this moment, his breath suddenly changed. It is also the realm of opening up the sea. Immediately afterwards, King Chen's treasure body glowed, like an arhat, entering the realm of opening up the sea. Lin Zhuchan's aura was so powerful that he actually channeled the terrifying Holy Spirit contained in the wine to draw a talisman in his dantian, opening up a terrifying ocean. Nanfan took a deep breath and drank the bowl of wine. In an instant, her whole delicate body trembled slightly. She actually opened up an ocean composed of countless musical notes. It was so mysterious. Gongya also drank the wine, and her aura improved rapidly. At this moment, it was as if she had been washed. Her whole body aura was holy, and all the traces of the demonic path she had originally had disappeared. She entered the realm of opening up the sea. She, who was already beautiful, looked even more radiant, her skin was fair and beautiful, and her figure became more and more alluring. Lu Rang drank half of the bowl and poured half of the bowl of wine into the straw basin. Immediately, the grass mutated rapidly, as if there was the sound of waves, and Lu Rang's body roared, successfully opening up the sea. Subakian tasted it in small sips, but even so, her realm was still growing rapidly. From the immortal realm, directly cross the Hongmeng. Then directly step into the realm of Holy Yin and reach the realm of perfection. She is just a little short of becoming a sea opening level cultivator. Moreover, it does not take long for the source of the Holy Way to enter the body and be refined with the source of the Holy Way. I'll also have a taste of what it feels like to swallow a bowl of the source of the Holy Way in one gulp. Wu Dade was overjoyed when he saw this. He swallowed the jujube and drank it in one gulp. The smell of alcohol entered his body, and he suddenly felt that every inch of his body was itching. Even the bones are itching. This is the source of the terrifying holy path, which is transforming his body according to the operation of physical skills. Ah, it's so itchy, so itchy. Wu Dade suddenly felt a little uncomfortable. Suddenly, he suddenly turned around and looked at the big black dog that was licking the wine in the bowl. He said with a begging look on his face, "Bite me, hurry up, bite me." The black dog was startled for a moment, raised his paw and knocked Wu Dade unconscious, and then licked the drink by himself. "Brother, do you have any poem suitable for drinking?" Xian Ning blinked her big eyes and looked at Li Fan. Li Fan smiled and spoke directly, saying, "If heaven did not love wine, there should be no wine stars in heaven. If the earth did not love wine, there should be no fountains of wine in the earth. Both heaven and earth love wine, and if you love wine, you are worthy of heaven." These lines are written by the poet Li Bai, and they are the most catchy. Hearing this, I feel very thoughtful. What a life of freedom and ease. Enjoy today's joy, forget yesterday's pain, and don't think about the future. What you get is the invincibility of yourself at this moment. She murmured and drank it all in one gulp. In an instant, the breath boomed. Break directly into the realm of opening up the sea. A group of disciples, after drinking wine, entered the sea opening realm one after another. The realm of holy guidance is to introduce a ray of holy energy into the body. The realm of opening up the sea is to open a holy spring in the dantian. If the holy spring is not extinguished, life will never dry up. In the realm of holy seeds, one needs to find a seed with the laws of the holy way and plant it into the dantian. In the Forya realm, the holy spring from dantian is combined with the secret power of the holy seed to wash away the whole body and reach the realm of flawless body. These realms are all about the smelting of the spiritual energy of the holy Dao, and do not involve the understanding of the Dao or the understanding of the rules. Therefore, as long as you have enough holy Dao foundation accumulated in your body, you can almost break through all the way. Huo Ling Mu Jianing and others were also excited. After they drank the wine, their cultivation levels improved to become even more demonic, and they directly reached the realm of opening up the sea. If Senior Li and others give us a ball of the source of the Holy Dao and slowly digest it, it won't take long before we can enter the realm of the Holy Dao. Huo Linger was a little drunk, and her face was full of excitement. Bai Xiaoyang was also very excited. He didn't expect that he could get a bowl. Sure enough, the master's master is so generous. On the other side, Mr. Zhao Er also took the wine jar from Wu Date and walked to another bonfire, where Ming Tianbei, Xue Ji, and other people gathered together. There was enough beef this time, so Uncle Zhao Er called them over and gave them a full meal. After all, Uncle Zhao couldn't bear the fact that a group of grown men were living in such poverty as they were forced to beg and scavenge every day. Come on, the second uncle is in a good mood today, let's have a drink. Uncle Zhao Er handed the wine jar to Ming Tianbei. Ming Tianbei was excited on the spot. He and others could actually drink this drink. Thank you, second uncle. Xue Ji, Shan Ming, and others were immediately grateful. Ming Tianbei poured wine on the spot and everyone drank it up. In an instant, a group of demon kings were extremely excited, and they were breaking through quickly. On the contrary, Uncle Zhao Er was very calm and said with a smile. A group of young people can't drink enough. Ming Tianbei drank the wine, and his aura became extremely powerful. He was a little drunk, but Wuzi quickly held the empty wine jar in his arms and said, Uncle, the wine jar, can I recycle it as garbage? When Uncle Zhao Er heard this, he was stunned for a moment. He couldn't help but patted Ming Tianbei and said, Tianbei, with your dedicated spirit, why wouldn't you be happy? You have to scavenge. He was so sorry, what a talent. The villagers were all drinking wine, and the scene was extremely happy. Li Fan also smiled and tasted the wine. It was 2 years old and the taste was indeed weak. Meow meow, meow meow meow. Bai Xiaoqing raised her head and looked at Li Fan aggrievedly, as if to say that she also wanted to drink. You greedy cat. Li Fan had no choice but to dip his fingers into the wine and feed it to Bai Xiaoqing. Bai Xiaoqing sucked Li Fan's finger, rolling with excitement. Then she raised her head again, still aggrieved, meow meow. Not enough. Okay, okay. Li Fan had no choice but to continue. Soon after, Xiao Bai finally fell asleep drunk, but she still held Li Fan's finger in her mouth and refused to let go. In her sleep, she looked cute and cute. Li Fan rubbed her belly lovingly, fearing that she would not be able to digest well. And Bai Xiaoqing also succeeded in opening up the sea in her sleep. Master, the wine you brew is so delicious. Zi Ling was a little drunk, and suddenly she tilted her head and fell drunk on Li Fan's shoulder. When Li Fan saw it, his disciples were all a little drunk. You can't even drink well. But he had no choice but to send his disciples back first. He picked up Zi Ling by the waist, took her back to the small courtyard, put her on the bed, and covered her with a quilt. Master, my disciple never wants to leave you. Xiling seemed to be thinking in her sleep. Li Fan smiled and said, Master will never leave you either. After a long time, Li Fan finally settled Nanfeng, Gongya, Xianning, etc., and sat alone in the small courtyard for a long time. There was a smile on his lips. In fact, mortal life was really happy. This kind of beauty made him like life in a small mountain village more and more. After sitting alone for a long time, Li Fan went to rest. Starry night. Suddenly, the old hen raised her eyes and mouthed human words, saying, Is the master too obsessed with the world of mortals? There was silence in the small courtyard. After a long time, a female voice from the peach tree said slowly, The master has been miserable all his life, this is his only short-term happiness, and you and I should not comment on it. The old hen was also silent, lowered her head, and continued to peck at the corn on the ground. Above the sky, many stars disappeared, leaving only a crescent moon, lying alone in the dark night. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 297. The next day. In the morning, in the small courtyard, Li Fan sat under the peach tree and read a book. His disciples finally woke up slowly. Sleep so soundly. Zi Ling rubbed her sleepy eyes, stretched, got up, walked out of the courtyard, and said sweetly to Li Fan. Good morning, master. Li Fan smiled, good morning. Nanfeng and others also got up. Hey, have I broken through to the realm of opening up the sea? Nanfeng was a little enlightened. She was so drunk from drinking yesterday that she couldn't feel anything anymore. Now when I look at it, the golden notes in my body have turned into an ocean. It was so wonderful, it even made her absolutely certain that her understanding of Emperor Zun's formation-breaking song had improved a lot. Really, I also broke through. Long Xuanhuan was also surprised, he felt the golden ocean in his body. Above the golden ocean, there is a dragon shadow, and the dragon soul is hovering. He felt that with one punch, he could mobilize the infinite power of the ocean and break the sky. Qing Chen became more and more ethereal, and in the ocean inside his body, there was the roar of Zen singing from the beginning of creation. No, why didn't I succeed in opening up the sea? Wu Dade felt that he was light and healthy, but it was unexpected because he did not notice the ocean in his danshan. People love you and you are ignorant. Others open up the sea in their danshan, but your whole body is filled with sea. The big black dog spoke in disgust. Hearing this, Wu Dade was stunned for a moment, and then became ecstatic. It really is. He felt that his whole body was getting stronger. A chessboard. Zhang Li was also very surprised. The ocean he created turned out to be like a chessboard, crisscrossing it. A talisman, I was drunk and actually carved the talisman of creation. Lin Zhujian was also pleasantly surprised. In his danshan, the winding shape was like a big river, forming the image of a talisman of fortune. My, why is there a golden grass shadow in the ocean? Lu Rang was also startled for a moment, but then he was overjoyed, because he felt that he and the grass were becoming more and more one. In the golden ocean of peace of mind, countless golden words floated, all of which were poems she had learned. Even the ocean opened by Gongya is extraordinary. It is actually an unparalleled golden light and shadow teapot, pouring out countless golden sea water. All have made great progress. Xiao Li. At this time, Uncle Zhang's voice sounded outside. Uncle, please come in. Li Fan spoke. Uncle Zhang walked in with excitement on his face and said. Hurry up, there's something big going on outside the village, you're so awesome. How awesome is that? Li Fan was confused. Let's go out and take a look. Li Fan stood up immediately, followed closely by a group of disciples. Walking out of the small courtyard, Huo Ling Mu Jianing, Holy Lord Yuan Yang, Bai Xiaoyang and others who stayed in the village yesterday also walked out. Their progress has all been great. Meet Senior Li. Meet Senior Li. Seeing this, Li Fan just waved his hand and said. No need to be polite. Immediately, everyone headed towards the entrance of the village. When they reached the entrance of the village, everyone was shocked. Because, outside the village, there were tens of thousands of cows kneeling on the ground in neat rows. These are incredible rules, keep your head down, and don't even dare to express your anger. The old scalpers, the big black cows and the little golden cows tied up at the entrance of the village were all eating their own fodder. This, all the demonic cows are here, is this? Lu Rang looked surprised. My dear, I just finished a whole cow feast, are you here again? Wu Dade felt a little tired of it. Yesterday, there were so many cows that we didn't even finish. A lot of them were made into beef jerky. I eat beef every day, I can't stand it, I can't stand it. Xiao Li, what do you think is going on? I have been raising cattle for so many years and I have never seen this disease before. Uncle Zhang asked with a puzzled look on his face. Li Fan was also a little confused. He had never seen this kind of situation before. However, he thought about it and said immediately, "These cows look fine." After saying that, he immediately turned around, looked at Huo Linger next to him, and said, "Why don't you take these cows away?" He thought to himself that with so many bison, it would not be a problem to leave them outside the village. Moreover, it is not good to waste it. If you take it out, you will definitely be able to sell it at a good price. However, no one in the village has the experience or brains to do business. It's better to let Huo Linger and the others take it out and sell it. Although Huo Linger, Bai Xiaoyang and others are in the calligraphy and painting business, they still have business acumen. Hearing this, Huo Linger was suddenly startled. Let yourself take these cows away? She can feel that these cows are very powerful. There are many saint-level experts and even quasi-powerful ones among them. It can be said that so many strong men from the Ox clan would cause a storm if they were released to the outside world. They are a force that cannot be ignored. With these cows, you can be stronger and compete more effectively in the future. Li Fan then spoke. After all, these cows are worth a lot of money. If they sell them, the scale of their calligraphy and painting business will probably expand further. Hearing this, Huo Linger's eyes suddenly lit up. She understood. Senior Li, are you asking these strong men from the demonic cow clan to join the Wild Sky Alliance? Senior Li seems to want us to absorb these strong men and then take the initiative to attack. Holy Lord Yuan Yang muttered. Yes, our strength must be too weak and we can no longer complete Senior Li's mission. That's why he specially prepared so many strong men for us. Holy Lord Ling Chao also murmured. The demonic cow clan, the entire clan has been taken over by Senior Li. Bai Xiaoyang looked even more complicated. Huo Linger took a deep breath and said. Good. Thank you, Senior. We will definitely develop well and serve Senior Li better. Senior, do you have any instructions for our future development? She looked at Li Fan seriously. Li Fan smiled and said. Don't be trapped in the present, don't be afraid of anything, just move forward. Suddenly, Huo Linger and others were all excited. Don't be afraid of anything and move forward courageously. Senior means that we can march to the outside world. Holy Lord Yuan Yang and others clenched their fists. As you command. Huo Linger spoke deeply and said, next, we will take over the White Tiger state and let those giants get out. The fire in her heart has been ignited. Since the surrender of the Holy Spirit, although the White Tiger state has maintained peace as a whole, the influence of those saint clans and others has been very serious. Li Fan also nodded when he heard this and said. Since you are going to march into the White Tiger state, I will give you a painting. He immediately said. Zi Ling, pen and ink. Zi Ling immediately spread out her pen and ink. Li Fan raised his pen, and in an instant, with his strokes, it seemed as if the heaven and earth were evolving, as if the great road was roaring. Everyone was surprised. The old scalper next to him started to tremble even more. After a long time, Li Fan put pen to paper. On top of that rice paper, there is already an extra painting. It was a majestic mountain range. Among the mountains, there were green peaks that looked as if they were shaking the sky. A majestic white tiger sat on top of it, seeming to roar up to the sky. The white tiger is lifelike, like a mythical beast that has stepped out of the ages. Just on the painting, it has already conveyed a supreme power. In the corner of the painting, there are 4 big characters, white tiger roars to the sky. This. Bai Xiaoyang was shocked. Facing this painting, he felt that his soul was trembling. Is there a living ancient white tiger among them? He once heard his grandfather say that the White Tiger clan was once extremely glorious in the ancient times, but later fell, and could not even stand in the holy way and fell into the immortal way. This White Tiger made him feel that it seemed to contain a supreme inheritance. A kind of supreme power. This is the supreme opportunity given by Senior Lee. He vaguely felt that this painting might allow the White Tiger clan to find the road to revival again. Thank you, Senior, for the picture. Thank you, Senior, for the picture. Bai Xiaoyang knelt down directly and burst into tears of gratitude. Li Fan was a little stunned. Isn't it just a painting? But he immediately understood that Bai Xiaoyang was a calligraphy and painting dealer in the immortal realm, and he had never seen his own paintings before. So when I saw it at this moment, I was astonished. So kneel down? Although Bai Xiaoyang is a businessman, his love for calligraphy and painting is really deep in his bones. Li Fan couldn't help but nodded, helped him up, and said, "It doesn't have to be like this, just keep working hard. If you need anything in the future, just come to me. As the saying goes, if you have a good relationship, if people need calligraphy and painting in the future, they will definitely come to you for supply. Moreover, maybe someone can help me find rare animals and plants in the future." Bai Xiaoyang was extremely grateful and took the painting respectfully. "Senior, let's say goodbye first." Huo Linger spoke. "Now, Senior Li has given the order, and they must start making a difference." "Good." Li Fan also spoke, and suddenly thought of something again, and said, "Take these 2 crystal pieces. If you come across rare animals or plants that make the crystal pieces shine in the outside world, let me know. There is strength in numbers." When Huo Linger heard this, he was also deeply shocked. During the bonfire party yesterday, she had already heard that Senior Li was looking for rare animals and plants. She was confused at first, but then Lu Rang explained that rare species refer to small golden cattle with the blood of ancient sacred cows, and she immediately understood. Senior Li is collecting the strongest bloodline in the world. The reason why the demonic cow clan was subverted seemed to be because there was a rare animal in the eyes of Senior Li. Huo Linger suddenly felt that there were countless ancient saints. It's going to be a big change. She nodded and said, "I will do my best." Immediately, they left. As Huo Linger and others walked out, the big black cow at the entrance of the village hurriedly barked at the tens of thousands of cows outside. Moo. This means telling all the clan members that they will obey Huo Linger's orders from now on. Outside, tens of thousands of powerful demon cow clan men who had knelt all night were shocked. However, they dare not be disrespectful at all. Huo Linger and other girls are creatures who came out of a small mountain village. Extremely scary. Let me go. Huo Linger walked out indifferently. Immediately, countless cows got up and followed her. Get out of here. At the entrance of the village, Li Fan was a little surprised when he saw this scene. These cows were quite obedient. And at this moment, outside Baidawang, in the sky, a girl in a white dress hesitated, with a look of fear on her face. She set out yesterday, and the distance of thousands of miles was only a moment's notice. But she kept walking around, not daring to face the big devil. Now, we are finally here. Master, do we still want to go in? Ancestor White Tiger asked tentatively. Of course I'm going. Yongzi stamped his feet and said. Forget it, the worst case scenario is death. She puffed up her chest and walked into Baidawang immediately. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 298. Seeing that the bison outside had been dealt with, the villagers dispersed. Uncle Zhang untied the old scalper and the big black cow and prepared to take them home. This little calf looks good, Mr. Lu, take good care of it. When it grows up, it can even take over Dehai's farmland. Before Uncle Zhang left, he looked at the little golden cow and was filled with admiration. Let's go back to. Li Fan immediately took Nanfan and others back. Lu Rang held the little Taurus, touched its head, handed the little Taurus a piece of sacred grass, and at the same time whispered in the little Taurus's ear. When you get back, I'll give you something good to drink. Yesterday when he was drinking, he hid half a cup and waited for the little golden cow. The little Taurus's big eyes were filled with joy. Is there anything better than the sacred grass? He said moo in anticipation. Back in the small courtyard, Lu Rang took the little Taurus aside and fed the little Taurus some wine. After the little Taurus drank the wine, his aura suddenly changed, and he directly passed the realm of opening up the sea. Moreover, its bloodline was once again purified, and its body became more and more golden, making it particularly lovable. That's right, Master, didn't you say you wanted to teach us how to do exercises? Just as Li Fan sat down, Zi Ling suddenly came over with a blushing face and asked. There was a hint of expectation and anxiety in her eyes. The method of gymnastics is a supreme magical skill. The other disciples also looked at Li Fan with some hunger. The big black dog hurriedly ran over wagging its tail, its eyes filled with waiting. Li Fan was startled when he heard this. Are these disciples so concerned about broadcasting gymnastics? He smiled and said. Okay, then my teacher will teach you. As he said that, he couldn't help but glance at Zi Ling, Nanfang, Subakian and other female disciples, and said. But you have to change your clothes first. The male disciples are okay, but these female disciples are all wearing skirts. Where can anyone do gymnastics in a skirt? Hearing this, Nanfang, Zi Ling and others' pretty faces turned slightly red. Change clothes? Master, what kind of clothes should we wear? Nanfan asked. Li Fan smiled and said. As long as it's comfortable and the skirt is flowing, it's suitable for dancing but not for humming. Hearing this, Zi Ling, Nanfang and others thought for a moment. I see. Suddenly, Zi Ling thought of something, and immediately the female disciples and Gongya were pulled to change clothes. And a group of male disciples could no longer wait any longer. Soon, Zi Ling and the others finally walked out. Zi Ling is wearing a tight-fitting military uniform, her perfect and proud figure is highlighted, she is extremely beautiful and eye-catching. The same is true for Nanfan, with a perfect figure and gentle style. Subakian has the most stunning beauty in the country, and her skin is like gelatin. Gongya, on the other hand, has a more mature charm. Compared with several girls, her figure is plumper and unique. When Li Fan saw this, he couldn't help but be stunned. But then he also smiled and said, my hair also needs to be tied up. He immediately stepped forward and helped Zi Ling tie her tail into a ponytail. Zi Ling's face was slightly red, and after wearing a ponytail, she looked uniquely cute and sophisticated. Nanfan, Subakian, and Gongya also followed suit. Everyone is ready? Okay, before you do gymnastics, you have to warm up first. I'll teach you warm-up exercises and move your hands and feet. Li Fan opened his mouth and immediately taught them warm-up exercises. A group of disciples started to move, and even Zinning was following suit. Raise your hand a little higher. Yes, harder. Li Fan demonstrated and taught at the same time, but he found that these disciples seemed to have no athletic talent. He doesn't even know how to do the simplest warm-up exercises. No. It's like the force of the Great Road is pressing down on me, it's too difficult. Wu Dade struggled to speak. Even though he was physically stronger than him, he felt that, this so-called warm-up exercise was as difficult as a natural chasm. Qing Chen was the same. He had only raised his hand halfway when he felt it was so heavy that it was difficult to continue. It's like facing the suppression of 10,000 Buddhas, it's too difficult. He was out of breath. No. I need to learn. Within Long Zixuan's body, the spring sea roared and the dragon soul shook the sky. However, he also felt sore all over after the second move. No. Even if we face the mountains, we must treat it as a child, and we must lift our weight as lightly as possible. Zhongli is physically weak and has always been quiet, but now he is even more sweaty. I don't believe in evil, stick it to me, stick it to me. Lin Zhuchen worked hard, gritting his teeth and pasting mysterious spells on his hands one after another. The spells could provide him with strength. However, he still felt extremely difficult, and the spells were destroyed one by one. Master, it's too difficult. Zi Ling's Yang was dripping with sweat and looked up at Li Fan aggrievedly. Master, we are not strong enough. Nanfan also panted and spoke. Master, this is too difficult. Subakian was helpless. Gongya was panting heavily from exhaustion, her chest rising and falling. Xian Ning also had a somewhat complicated look on his face. It was truly a magical skill. If he and others wanted to practice it, it would be impossible to do anything like it. Li Fan was shocked when he saw this. Do these disciples want to be so rubbish? He was speechless. It's very simple. Li Fan opened his mouth and said. Watch, I will practice it again for you, master. He started immediately. This is called breast expansion exercise. Li Fan spoke and started to exercise. His movements are very quick and clear. A group of disciples who were studying suddenly showed a look of shock and admiration. The avenue roared, and the sky and the earth darkened. At this moment, it was as if the master had become the only existence in the 9 heavens and 10 earths. It's so amazing, master. Zi Ling looked a little fascinated. Every action is a manifestation of the Great Avenue and the rebirth of chaos. Nanfeng murmured. Subakian was even more shocked. Last time, her cultivation was not good enough and she couldn't feel much. Now she has reached the realm of Holy Yin, so she was in a trance for a moment. Isn't it terrible? In the eyes of all the disciples, Li Fan was like a god at this moment. And all the creatures in the yard were trembling again at this moment. The flock of native chickens were close together, lying on their backs and not daring to move. The koi fish gathered together in the pond, trembling and causing ripples in the water. The 3 spiders overlapped again. The big black dog was so scared that he bit Wu Dade's butt and refused to let go. Soon, Li Fan finally finished the entire set of colorful sunshine radio gymnastics. After stopping, Li Fan felt slightly tired. He stretched out his hand to wipe his sweat and sprinkled it on the ground. Ouch! Suddenly, the big black dog let go of Wu Dade's buttocks, rushed over, stuck out his tongue and started licking the ground. Damn dog, you don't have martial ethics. Wu Dade's eyes widened. Okay, the mud is also stained a little. Lu Rang hurriedly stepped forward, carefully picked up the layer of fine soil on the ground, and placed it in the grass pot. Suddenly, the grass blades were trembling slightly, as if they were facing some kind of terrifying baptism of the road. Master, wipe your sweat. Zi Ling hurriedly stepped forward and handed Li Fan a towel. Li Fan smiled, took it, wiped it, and handed it back to Zi Ling. Zi Ling was so happy that she held the towel in her hand and jumped up and down. Nanfan hesitated for a moment, but still mustered up the courage to step forward and said. Master, should you change your clothes? Yes, I can help Miss Nanfan wash it together, Gongya said hurriedly. When Subakian saw this, he became anxious and said. Master, I can do it too. Li Fan was stunned when he saw this. What are these disciples doing? Are you so concerned about yourself? Instantly, he was moved. These disciples are not in vain. However, he shook his head and said. No need, it's just for exercise, no need. Hearing this, Xiling Nanfan and others were very disappointed with their beautiful eyes. Excuse me, is Senior Li here? At this time, an old voice suddenly came from outside. Li Fan felt that this voice was somewhat familiar. Yes, please come in. Li Fan spoke immediately. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 299. Ancestor White Tiger and Yun 11 have arrived outside the Wu leisure courtyard. Ancestor White Tiger respectfully asked into the small courtyard. Yungzi, on the other hand, looked at the plaque in the small courtyard and murmured. Wu Xianting. The great demon king, he has such great courage, it seems that he has hidden a supreme avenue in these 4 words. This kind of calligraphy, this kind of demeanor and way of being free from the world, but overlooking the common people. Even in the human world, she has never seen it before. Thinking of this, she felt even more desperate. What level of evil in the world is this? My luck is too bad. Please come in. At this time, Li Fan's voice came out from the small courtyard. Ancestor White Tiger looked at Yungzi and said. Owner. Yun 11's eyes were filled with fear, but she could only grit her teeth and ignore it. Wait for me here. Fight. She immediately stepped forward and pushed the door open. The moment you enter the courtyard. Yun 11's whole body froze slightly, and his face was shocked. He seemed extremely unbelievable. When Li Fan saw Yungzi, he was immediately stunned. Actually, it's her. It's over, it's over. This girl who knows her true identity comes to her door? Li Fan promised her before that he would find her a group of butterflies within a month, but later, they had already gathered all the butterflies, and the other party never came to her door. Now, the other party's face seems to be very ugly. Could it be that she was angry because he hadn't given her butterflies? Li Fan suddenly became nervous. And now? Yungzi was extremely shocked. At this moment, she clearly felt that this place was like one of those terrifying places in the world. Terrible. Various charms of the world are circulating, and secret avenues are hidden. Moreover, she vaguely felt the breath of some extremely terrifying creatures. What are they? Yun 11 trembled a little, and she subconsciously took a look at the small courtyard. She spotted an old hen pecking at corn next to her. The old hen suddenly raised his head and glanced at her. Boom! At this moment, Yungzi felt a roar in his mind. She had a feeling that this old hen had seen through everything with just one glance. No. She turned her head hurriedly, not daring to look again, but as soon as she turned her head, her eyes swept across the pond. Suddenly, she heard the roar of some unspeakable mythical creature. Ah! Yun 11 felt that his soul had received an unimaginable impact. She felt dizzy. I don't want to watch anymore, I don't want to watch anymore. She lowered her head quickly. However, the moment she lowered her head, 3 spiders lined up and walked past her shoes. Ah! Yun 11 cried instantly and hurriedly backed away. She was so frightened that she covered her eyes with her hands. When Li Fan saw this scene, he was also confused. What does this ant mean? Cry when you see yourself? He couldn't help but stepped forward in confusion and said. Why are you crying? The moment Li Fan approached, Yun 11 felt that the terrifying pressure just now disappeared in an instant. This means, those terrifying creatures are actually afraid of him. How terrifying must the big devil be? Yun 11's pretty face suddenly became extremely frightened and said. You, don't come over. Li Fan stopped and looked confused. Why did this girl look so afraid of him? Yun 11 was extremely frightened, but thinking that the mark of her life had been controlled by the other party, she wiped away her tears, mustered up her courage, looked at Li Fan, and said. I know, you are very powerful, I accept my fate. When Li Fan heard this, he was surprised. Are you very powerful? This. Could it be? Could it be that the other party saw that he was already a practitioner at the first level of chi refining? Li Fan instantly took a breath of air. The other party has such terrible eyesight. As expected of someone who can see his identity as a time traveler. He took a deep breath and thought rapidly in his mind. This girl can be scared to tears by her own level of chi refining. Does this mean that she is probably just an ordinary person? After all, to ordinary people, practitioners are heaven. Even if you are at the first level of chi refining, ordinary people must respect you. Li Fan felt that he had guessed pretty well. After all, the other party was scared to tears and was definitely not pretending. He nodded immediately and said, "If you are afraid of me, why did you come to me?" When Yun-11 heard this, he was startled for a moment. The big devil was indeed angry. He is clearly asking questions knowingly. She immediately said weakly, You promised that I would get the butterflies in a month. I didn't mean to be late." When Li Fan heard this, he was stunned for a moment and then reacted. "I was so nervous that I forgot all about it. This girl actually wants butterflies." Li Fan immediately smiled and said, "Where are the two from last time? Have they been fed?" Yun-11 hurriedly raised her hand, and two colorful butterflies flew out of her sleeves in an instant. As if she felt Li Fan's presence, one of them landed on Li Fan's hand. "Well, not bad." Li Fan nodded. The other party actually raised the butterfly. It seems that she is really a girl who loves butterflies. No wonder I have to find myself to get the butterfly. Seeing Li Fan nod, Yongzi let out a long breath. "Fortunately, I am raising butterflies obediently, otherwise the big devil might kill me." At this time, Li Fan had a thought in his mind. Suddenly, a group of butterflies flew out of his sleeves. Gorgeous and light. Some wings are brilliant, some are as if they were made of holy gold, and some are as whole as silver. Each one is extremely beautiful. A group of butterflies are flying around Li Fan's hand. Extremely beautiful. Wow! Yun-11 was stunned at this moment. This is too beautiful, right? Ziling, Nanfeng, and a group of other female disciples even gathered around, their eyes filled with brilliance. Li Fan couldn't help but nod, and he didn't blame girls for liking it. The butterfly the system gave him looked really good. It's probably hard to find outside. As soon as Li Fan waved, a group of butterflies landed on his hand. Then he gently put his hand on Yun-11's hand. Suddenly, those butterflies landed on Yongzi's palm one after another. This. Yun-11 looked at the group of butterflies in his hand and was completely stunned. Red Golden Emperor Butterfly, Nine Heavens Divine Butterfly, Original Silver Butterfly. She was in a daze. These were all legendary creatures. If placed in the world of the sun, any one that appeared would be a heaven-defying existence. All of them actually appeared in the underworld, in the hands of a young man? What level of existence is the great demon king? Could it be? Yun-11 murmured, how could a being of that level hide in the underworld? She felt incredible. The big devil's background is too great. The agreement between us has been completed. At this time, Li Fan spoke and whispered. You must not reveal my origins. Hearing this, Yongzi nodded hurriedly. How dare you? Li Fan paused and suddenly asked, by the way, how did you find me? He thought about it for 3 days and 3 nights, but he still couldn't figure it out, who had revealed his identity as a time traveler. After all, if you don't leave the door, you won't be able to take 2 steps forward. When Yun-11 heard this, he felt a little sad, angry, and innocent for a moment, and said, I was hiding here from those people from another world. Who thought of you? As she talked, she felt like her life was so miserable. When she entered the underworld, she was already helpless, but she found that it was not safe here either. Especially in the Forbidden Sea area close to the underworld, she discovered the similar aura, which was very dangerous. That's why she escaped all the way into this realm of pure yin. After all, this is the real yin realm, which lacks yang energy, and those creatures would not want to come here. But who would have thought that there is actually a super devil hiding there? If she had known earlier, she would have rather encountered those people. However, after hearing this, Li Fan made huge waves in his heart. I wipe. Someone from another world? Are there other time travelers in this world? He was shocked immediately. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 300. Hearing Yun 11's words, Li Fan didn't react for a long time. He always thought that he was the only traveler in this world. Unexpectedly, there are others. The existence of similar people made him hesitate and fearful. After all, this world is too dangerous. Time travel itself is a big secret. Every time traveler definitely doesn't want to be discovered. Therefore, for similar people who have also traveled through time, I am afraid that they will not have good intentions towards each other. Instead, they hope to kill and silence them. This is the only way to keep a secret. It's over, it's over. If he were discovered by those who also traveled from another world, wouldn't he be dead? After all, I am only at the first level of chi refining. Other time travelers may have obtained various golden fingers and reached max level long ago, becoming the strongest in the world of practice. It's all my fault that my system is so rubbish. Thinking of this, Li Fan felt sad and angry. He has no murderous intentions towards other time travelers. After all, he just wants to live a mortal life. However, as the saying goes, people don't hurt tigers, but tigers hurt people's hearts. What if someone wants to destroy themselves? Doesn't that mean you're going to kill yourself just by moving your fingers? Why? He sighed deeply. Sad. After thinking about it, Li Fan had no choice but to look at Yongzi. This is his only hope. Yongzi was instantly nervous when Li Fan saw him. Big devil, what is he going to do? Can you do me a favor? Li Fan is very dignified. Yun 11's heart tightened, but she had no right to refuse at all, she could only nod like a chicken pecking at rice. Li Fan solemnly said. Help me find other people like me. Don't alert them, just tell me their location. No matter what, you have to take the initiative in your own hands. As long as you know the location of those people, in the future, you can avoid them at worst. Determined not to meet each other, lest they be recognized and killed. However, Yongzi was shocked when he heard this. The great demon king, is he preparing to hunt down other people from the underworld? Yes, that must be the case. After all, a person of the level of the great demon king actually wants to hide in the underworld. It means that he has a big enemy in the world of the world and he doesn't want to reveal his whereabouts. This is why we have to kill people and silence them. Thinking of this, she couldn't help but feel excited. Fortunately, she was adopted as a slave by the other party. Otherwise, wouldn't he be hunted like everyone else and risk his life? At this moment, she was actually a little lucky. She also instantly understood why the big devil gave her so many powerful butterflies. After all, those creatures are dangerous, and with the help of these powerful butterflies, she can be safe. Woohoo, the big devil seems to be quite considerate of others. Thinking about it this way, she was actually a little moved. I will definitely find them all, and tell you. Yongzi nodded. When Li Fan heard this, the stone in his heart finally fell to the ground. He smiled at Yongzi and said, the situation is urgent and I have no choice but to take this step. I'm in trouble, girl. After this is completed, if you need any help from me, just ask. Li Fan made a promise. Looking at his sincere eyes, Yun 11 suddenly became a little distracted. The big devil seems to be very sincere. Grandpa said that some big devils are not really bad people, but they are just forced into desperation. He also said that the boundary between good guys and bad guys is not so easy to distinguish. She remembered some of her grandfather's teachings. Could it be said that the big devil in front of him is a person who hid in the underworld out of helplessness? Probably. A trace of complicated emotion suddenly appeared in her heart, and she said, I will try my best to help you. Don't worry too much. Then I'll leave first. Li Fan nodded and asked again. Pay attention to safety and do it if you can. If you can't, it doesn't matter. After all, Li Fan was really worried about asking a girl to find other time travelers for him. Hearing his instructions, Yun 11 felt a strange warmth in her heart. The other party clearly controls his life brand, and all he needs to do is give orders. However, he is so polite and gentle. She nodded, glanced at the butterfly on her hand, and suddenly felt happy in her eyes, saying, I am leaving. She went out. Walk out of the courtyard. Outside, the white tiger ancestor was waiting anxiously. When he saw Yun 11 coming out, he breathed a sigh of relief. Moreover, it seems that the master is in a good mood, right? Very good. It seems that the master's master should not have made things difficult for the master. Let's go. Yun 11 spoke, stood up and left. Ancestor White Tiger hurriedly followed. When passing by the village, White Tiger Ancestor was shocked when he saw Ming Tianbei setting up a bowl and begging on the roadside. This is just a beggar, how can he be so strong? Moreover, it seems as if there is a terrifying source of the holy path dormant in the body. He couldn't help but be envious. And Yun 11 also glanced at Ming Tianbei twice. This guy clearly comes from the demonic realm of the underworld. The demon realm is the place closest to the Forbidden Sea. It seems that although the big devil is hiding in the underworld, he has already made a plan. After thinking about it, the two of them walked out of the small mountain village. Ancestor White Tiger was still reluctant to leave, looking towards the north direction of Mingtian, his old eyes full of envy. Yun 11 couldn't bear it anymore and said, Don't be envious. I'll allow you to pick up some trash in the manor when you get back. When the White Tiger ancestor heard this, he was immediately excited. This is great. After all, there are a lot of good things in the master's manor. It seems that I have to ask Xiaoyang to come over later and ask this demon cultivator for advice and experience. And now, outside world. A news is out. The Holy Lord of the Demon Niu clan has been replaced. From today on, Niu Dushan will serve as the Holy Lord of the clan. As soon as the news came out, there was a sensation in northern Xinjiang. What? The Holy Master of the demonic cow clan has been replaced? This is a big event. What's going on? Wasn't the demon cow clan still chasing the traitor Niu Dushan before? Why has it changed so much now? I heard that this matter is very involved, and the ancient saints of the demonic cow clan have come forward. Attention from all parties. The demonic cow clan is a holy clan, and there are even living ancient saints in the clan. It is definitely considered a giant clan in northern Xinjiang. However, something like this happened. Speculations abound. At the same time, Xuanhuan Zhou Huolinger brought tens of thousands of powerful Demon Cow clan members back to the Wild Sky Alliance. Since Senior Li named this area the Wild Sky Forbidden Land, the original Xiantian Alliance has also been renamed the Desolate Sky Alliance. When countless powerful men from the demonic cow clan appeared, the entire Wild Sky Alliance was shocked. So many powerful men of the Holy Path are now part of the alliance. Enter the main hall. Huolinger sat upright and spoke directly, saying, Follow the order of the Lord of the Wild Sky, and from today onwards, We will march into the White Tiger State. Drive out all the aliens in Behu State. She gave the order directly. Senior Li has given orders to himself and others, and they must not stand still any longer. The main thing is that now with the combat power of the Demon Cow clan, the Xiantian alliance is enough to compete with those holy forces. In an instant, the entire Xiantian alliance was shaken. Immediately afterwards, a large army set off from the Xiantian realm. It headed towards Behu State in a mighty way. At the same time, an order was sent to Behu State at Huo Ling'er's request. The Wild Sky Alliance will arrive at the White Tiger King City. Within 3 days, all tribes must go to the White Tiger King City and swear to surrender to the Lord of the Wild Sky, otherwise they will be expelled from the White Tiger State. This is the decree of Huang Tian. As soon as the news came out, northern Xinjiang was once again in shock. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 301. Within 3 days, all tribes must go to the White Tiger King City and swear to surrender to the Lord of the Wild Sky, otherwise they will be expelled from the White Tiger State. The battle order from the Wild Sky Alliance spread throughout northern Xinjiang instantly. All parties are paying close attention. White Tiger State. Although the White Tiger State has smoothly transitioned from the Immortal Era to the Saint Era, the White Tiger clan has not been blood-bathed. However, facing the erosion of the major holy forces, the White Tiger clan has gradually lost its former status in Behu State. Decline. Haha, how ridiculous. Desolate Sky Alliance. What kind of garbage force, I've never heard of it. A group of human races, and they are not from those famous holy forces, there is nothing to fear. If you dare to come, let them die. Almost all the holy forces in the White Tiger State were disdainful after hearing the news. In a huge palace. This is the place occupied by Demon Spider Valley in Behu State. At the top, a beautiful middle-aged woman sat with a cold look on her face. Her name is Baizu, and she is a quasi-powerful person. Desolate Sky Alliance. How ridiculous, it seems that we are too kind to the White Tiger State. Gather the troops and head to the White Tiger King City. It's time, to wash this land with blood. Her eyes were filled with murderous intent. From the first day she came to Behu State, she wanted to wash the place with blood. Now, these ants actually dared to take the initiative, giving her a chance. Immediately, many powerful people in Demon Spider Valley gathered together one after another. The other side. In an ancestral hall filled with evil spirits. Several strange evil spirits are enshrined. In the ancestral hall, a group of old men have gathered. The leader was an old man with gray hair. On both sides of his shoulders, there were actually a snake head and an eagle head. His name is Shabai Wang, and he is also a quasi-powerful man. The clan has responded. Shabai Wang said indifferently. After this period of testing, we haven't found any powerful saints behind the White Tiger clan. It's time for the White Tiger State to become a place filled with evil spirits. Do it. In an instant, the group of elders were all overjoyed. The vast land of Behu State and the countless living beings would be very useful to the Tianxia clan if they were refined into the evil spirit realm. On the other side, a huge city. In the giant city, around a palace, there are all kinds of flowers growing, piranha flowers. For thousands of miles around the palace, there was not a single living creature. In front of the palace, a huge piranha flower several thousand meters high suddenly opened its bud as big as a bloody mouth. White Tiger King City. A female voice sounded. Suddenly, the countless piranha flowers around the palace suddenly turned into women. Then, they all headed in a certain direction. White Tiger King City. The elder of the White Tiger clan, Tianjing, and others got the news and gathered everyone in the White Tiger clan. The city's defenses are fully activated. However, they were still nervous at the moment. Boom. Suddenly, the city wall collapsed, and the royal city was almost cracked. The immortal king-level formation was vulnerable to a single blow and was destroyed directly. Who? During the day, Jing waits and roars. Immediately afterwards, several men and horses appeared above Tianyu. The Tianxia clan, the demonic Spider Valley, and the Sea of Human Forbidden Flowers are all at the forefront. In addition, some other holy tribes, such as the Dragon Ant tribe, Golden Falcon tribe, etc. are also here. A bunch of ants, they won't kneel down when they see me. Sha Baiwang, a strong man from the Tianxia clan, suddenly shouted coldly at this moment. Suddenly, the terrifying aura of the Forya realm fell down, and the evil energy surged. The faces of countless strong men from the White Tiger clan changed drastically. At this moment, many of them were forced to kneel down. Difficult. Extremely difficult. Haha, the despicable race that worked with the human race in the past should have been extinct long ago. Today, the name of the White Tiger state has been changed, and the White Tiger race has been destroyed. Hua Shifeng, a strong female in the Forbidden Flower Sea, spoke coldly, waved her hand, and countless piranha seeds fell down, covering the entire royal city. Those piranha seeds grow when they see blood. Haha, the Sea of Forbidden Flowers occupies the entire royal city. Every time we strike, we want all the strong men among them. Bai Zhu from Demon Spider Valley spoke calmly. Below, Bai Tianjing and others were extremely angry, and their eyes were about to burst. The former White Tiger clan is now being divided up as trophies. I think the so-called Wild Sky Alliance is nothing more than ants. They are too lazy to wait for them and destroyed this place. Shapi Wang spoke impatiently and immediately raised his hand. He wants to destroy the royal city. But, right now. Stop. A loud shout resounded from Tianyu. Many saints looked up. In front, a centaur has appeared. The leaders were clearly Huo Ling, Mu Jianing, and others. Haha, is this the so-called Wild Sky Alliance? It's ridiculous. How dare a few cultivators in the sea-opening realm be respected? Shapi Wang was extremely disdainful and said, "Today, I will kill you all." He raised his hand and struck down with a sudden palm strike. This palm can almost destroy the entire desolate Sky Alliance. However, in the hands of Huo Ling, a wooden palace suddenly appeared directly. The palace suddenly emitted a huge shadow, protecting everyone. Lishanshan Palace. Boom. With one strike, everyone in the Wild Sky Alliance remained motionless. Holy Lord Yuan Yang and others were shocked. This wood carving was made by Senior Li. Senior Li's artifact can actually be used to launch a high-level attack. And ahead, a group of ancient saints were even more surprised. This is a powerful treasure. Shapi Wang's eyes suddenly flashed with heat. I'm determined. He stepped forward. It turns out there are some treasures. Do you really think you can challenge the saints? You are an ant. Court death. Everyone laughed coldly. Haha, little sister, how about giving me the treasure and I will allow you to join our clan? Hua Shifeng, who was surrounded by flowers, suddenly sneered and said, "In this era, it is impossible to live without the support of the saints." Hearing this, Huo Ling said calmly, "Yeah. Okay, I'll give it to you, come and get it." She stretched out her hand, and the carved wooden palace was in her hand. You know what's going on. Hua Shifeng stepped forward, and Shi Shiren was about to take the wood carving in Huo Ling's hand. But, the next moment, suddenly, in the sky above her, countless powerful auras appeared instantly. This. Hua Shifeng was shocked and felt something bad, so she turned around and ran away. But more than a dozen strong men from the demonic cow tribe bombarded Hua Shifeng directly. No. The flower-eating flower was directly blown to pieces, and countless piranha flower fragments fell in the wind. Behind, Many ancient saints were shocked. Are you crazy? The demonic cow clan, do you actually want to start a clan war? The white tigers are the scum of the holy clan, and these humans are even more like ants. How can you associate with them? They yelled angrily. However, the dozen or so strong men of the demonic cow clan who appeared on the scene, all of whom were quasi-powerful, had cold expressions on their faces. Immediately afterwards, countless powerful auras suddenly appeared in the sky. An army composed of tens of thousands of strong men from the demonic cow tribe appeared. The demonic cow tribe's army fills the sky. Hiss. At this moment, many ancient tribes took a breath of air. This, Taoist brother from the demonic cow clan, please tell me what you have to say. Shabai Wang's expression changed and he hurriedly spoke. No big deal, we'll give you priority over all the resources here, so why go to war? Bai Zhu also stepped forward bravely and said. Yes, we are all from the ancient saint clan, and peace is the most precious thing. They are afraid. Demonic cow clan, this is really a joke. This is completely the rhythm of a clan war. Too cruel. However, on the opposite side, the dozen or so quasi-powerful figures of the demonic cow clan suddenly turned around and looked at Huo Linger and Mu Jianing. Please tell me from the two alliance leaders. They were extremely respectful. Seeing this, many ancient saints were shocked. Demonic cow tribe. Actually, he surrendered to the human race? How can this be? At this moment, Huo Linger looked indifferently at the many ancient saints ahead. If you don't respect the Lord of the Wild Sky, you should be killed. Total destruction. Total destruction. Soon, many Saint clan forces in Beihu state were uprooted, and countless people died. When the news came out, there was a huge earthquake in northern Xinjiang, and countless ancient saints roared and raged. P.S. I recommend a book from a friend. Children who like entertainment literature can read it. Entertainment Circle, starting from Kung Fu Superstar. Shen Lang just crossed over and was hit by brother Chen Long's car. As a walk-on, how can he rely on the system to become a Kung Fu superstar step by step? Fearless, can you block my 20-year punch? IP man, I want to fight 10. Kung Fu, have you ever seen a palm move fall from the sky? Shaolin football, if you don't have dreams as a human being, what's the difference between you and a salted fish? Reproduce classics in a parallel world and conquer the world with Kung Fu movies.